Hello, and thank you for joining us today in our study of the book of Psalms. Today we are in Psalm 12, and in this short 8 verse psalm, the psalmist is going to talk mainly about the words of men and the difference between the words of men and the words of God. So let's delve in and look at this particular psalm. Beginning in verse 1, we read, Help, Lord, for the godly man ceases, for the faithful disappear from among the sons of men. They speak idly, every one with his neighbor. With flattering lips and a double heart they speak. May the Lord cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaks proud things, who have said, With our tongue we will prevail, our lips are our own, who is Lord over us? For the oppression of the poor, and the sighing of the needy, now I will arise, says the Lord. I will set him in the safety for which he yearns. The words of the Lord are pure words, like silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. You shall keep them, O Lord. You shall preserve them from this generation forever. The wicked prowl on every side, when vileness is exalted among the sons of men. As you look at Psalm 12, you see a psalm that deals with how men treat each other and then how God treats man when it comes to the words that he utilizes. But the focus is all on the things that we say and how we say it. I want you to notice as we start our discussion of Psalm 12 that this is going to be a matter of man's words versus God's words, but that it's going to both deal with their words toward mankind, not necessarily man's words towards God and God's words towards man. But notice this particular idea as it's laid out in verses 2 and following, because he talks about the unfaithful words of man. He says, They speak idly every one with his neighbor. With flattering lips and a double heart they speak. In other words, nobody's actually being honest. Nobody's being trustworthy. As a matter of fact, he says in verse 1, the faithful disappear from among the sons of men. Nobody is speaking, nobody is interacting with each other in an upright manner. He says in verse 3, May the Lord cut off all flattering lips and the tongue that speaks proud things. These men are ones who can never be trusted, who can never be held to for doing what is right and for acting in an appropriate way when it comes to the way that they treat one another. As a matter of fact, in verse 4, they say, With our tongue we will prevail, our lips are our own, who is Lord over us? The principle being, nobody can control us. You don't have the right to tell me what I can and cannot say or how I should live my life. I'm the one in charge of me. Sound familiar? We are the ruler of our own lips. But the words that we say a lot about us. The words that we say are going to say a great deal about who we listen to, what we find important, and whether or not we are people of integrity and uprightness or not. And unfortunately, much today, as in David's day when he wrote this, there are many who are not honorable. There are many who are not trustworthy and upright. And you can tell by the words of their mouth. You can tell by the things that they say and the way that they interact with others. When people are proud of lying, when people are proud of being deceitful, when people are proud of having pulled the wool over somebody's eyes for something, then you recognize that their words are not trustworthy. And you recognize that they do not speak with integrity. But on the flip side of that, he's going to talk about God in verses 5 through 8. And he talks about the fact in verse 6 that the words of the Lord are pure words, like tried silver in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. God's words are pure. God's words are upright. They are full of honorableness and integrity. They are going to be those that can be trusted. Unfortunately, sometimes the hard part is man is so used to dealing with men's words that they're not sure they can trust God's words. And yet, David says, "You shall keep them, O Lord, you shall preserve them from this generation forever." Those that are not willing to listen, those that are acting in such a way that they are dishonorable, are not going to receive the blessings of the pure words from God. He will keep them to himself. As you see what is stated in Psalm 12, you see a contrast between man and God in the way that we use our tongue. Because when God says something, he means it. When God makes a promise, he keeps it. When God says that something's going to happen, it does. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. Man is not so. Man is constantly full of flattering lips, but also of lies and deceit and of dishonesty and a lack of integrity. But we need to understand the differences, that when we're dealing with God, we're not dealing with the mindset and the attitude of man, and that men who act after those ways will be judged for their deeds. These are some of the things that I found in Psalm 12. I hope that they are beneficial to you. Next time we will come back and we will begin looking at Psalm 13. I hope that you'll join us then. But until then, have a great day.